2, 1. Welcome back in. Well, as you guys can see, we are joined by some very special guests in the studio right here, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce you guys to the Division II Section Champs, the Whitney Girls Basketball team out of Rockland, and representing the Wildcats juniors, Harper Peterson, right there, with the net around her neck. Of course, the winning net right there, and right next to her, head coach Sydney Gadsden right there, who's the mastermind behind everything. And on this side of me, we have Sammy Schuler and Tylee Kitchen. Thank you all so much for being there. How are you guys feeling on this Sunday night?
Great.
Feeling great. I bet.
I got the championship glow to them.
I'm telling you, see, they got the championship smiles going on. You know, this is incredible. So on that note, you guys just won the first section championship in program history. If you don't believe me, look at the banner right there. How do you describe the emotion and the feeling behind earning that thing right there?
I would say for me, it's amazing to be able to have these girls have this kind of experience. They're amazing. This team really gets along. We have great chemistry, and to see them just kind of persevere through the long season and be playing our best ball at the end of it, and to experience the kind of experience they got to on Friday night, I'm thrilled.
To the players, you guys are forever going to be part of history here at Whitney because of what you guys accomplished. How does that feel to you personally to know that it's forever, when they show the picture of the 2023 Whitney team who won the section championship, it's going to be your guys' faces on it?
I just personally think that's so cool. Just to be a part of Whitney High School girls' history and stuff like that just makes me feel so special. And doing it with these girls, I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. So.
Well, building off of that too, Kevin, they were telling us beforehand that the starting lineup all consists of juniors and sophomores. So this group is going to return and come back together, which makes you excited about what they're going to do next. So thinking about that, thinking about where this team still can go, how much better do you think your team can get?
Whoever wants it. Whoever wants it.
It's always been great to have everyone come back. We had people come back last year, big portion too, so we're still going.
Yeah, we had 8 varsity returners this year, and next year we'll have 9? I think 9, yeah.
So you hear that, SFL? Watch out, because Whitney is reloading for next year. Of course, we're still talking this year because you guys still have more work to do. Harper, you're being very modest over there. You had 21 points in the section championship game. I mean, you did some phenomenal things out there. You know, did you channel your inner Mamba mentality out there?
Yeah, I'm just going into the game. I had no thought of losing. I knew all of us could get through this together, and I thought my teammates behind my back. I just knew we could do it.
And Tylee, you're a sophomore out there balling, you're controlling the boards. You're controlling the paint. I read that you had a record 26 rebounds in one game. I believe you had 8 rebounds last night. As a sophomore, especially when you're playing in the post going against girls who are older, bigger, maybe more physical than you, how do you get the job done day in and day out, and how are you not intimidated by them?
I look at people and just be like, I'm gonna beat you every time that I'm gonna hit you hard. I'm gonna beat you to the board. And my mindset is just mostly I'm gonna win. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how big you are. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna be better than you.
And Sammy, I wanted to ask you, it's one thing to win the banner, it's another thing the way you guys won it, and grinded out, tough, hard-fought basketball game inside the Golden One Center. So you joined an elite group of people who played on that floor. Can you speak to how that game was played and how you guys won that game?
Honestly, defense and obviously scoring more points than the other team, but we were down the whole game until I think the last minute. I think it all just came down to honestly making free throws. I knocked down 2, Harper knocked down 1, and we had a couple earlier in the game, and defense really helped us out. We went man to man in the last couple minutes of the game, and I think that really helped us out.
And Coach, she touched on something that I wanted to talk to you about, which is the resilience of this group, not just in that game, but you look at this season, you have one of the toughest schedules just in all of Northern California basketball, the teams that you face, and there were learning experiences looking at the schedule throughout this season, but ultimately the team got to this point. Can you speak to the resiliency of this group over the course of the season?
Yeah, they've shown it all year. We've, like you said, faced some really tough
to piggyback off of Matt's question, Coach Sid, you personally went through some trials, adversity a few years ago while coaching, and there were times when you didn't know what the future held. And to be here now with this banner, section championship, leading these girls to glory, what inspires you to persevere through that challenge, and how are you able to overcome that in order to be standing here doing what you're doing?
Well, I love this game. I love what I do. I love that I get to be inserted into these young women's lives and make an impact both on and off the court. But I've been here for 10 years, and 9 of those 10 years have been amazing. The parents have been amazing. It was just that anomaly that 1 year, and come to find out, a lot of coaches unfortunately go through that kind of thing. But what was awesome is for me coming back, that was actually Harper and Sammy's freshman year, that following year, which was COVID. And as you can see, I knew I made the right decision right away. I'm so glad that I kind of stayed with it and got through that time, and we just persevered, like we always do.
I want to open up this question to all three of you players if you're comfortable speaking about it, because I mentioned the Golden One Center earlier. Obviously, you show up, it's business, championship game, you have a goal, you expect to win, like you were saying, but to walk through that tunnel, to step onto that floor, to see all those seats, see the lights, and people say it's more difficult to play and difficult to shoot in a gym like that. There's just so much space, it's just different. What was that like playing inside of the Golden One Center and winning inside of the Golden One Center?
It was honestly a great experience, just walking in there, knowing all the NBA players and that play on that floor. And it was a great thing to adjust to and just have the experience, on the big floor in front of everyone.
As far as looking ahead here, you guys, you captured the banner, all right? Now, obviously, you get into NorCal championships. The state championship bracket was released. You guys have, I believe, San Joaquin Memorial out of Fresno in the first game. I know it's one of those things you want to celebrate the championship, but there's still work to be done to reach the objective or goal. What are you guys looking forward to in your next round? And I guess the coach, what is your message to your players as you guys try to finish strong throughout this tournament?
It's been the same. The message throughout the playoffs has been the same. Like, be in the moment, right? Like, we gotta focus in on the moment. So we've been just taking it game to game. This is nice because we got to play and win on Friday night. So we've gotten the whole weekend to just kind of celebrate this.
Partay.
Yeah, exactly. So tomorrow, we'll finally be back together and get to kind of talk about Friday night just a little bit more, and then we're switching gears. We're watching film. We're practicing, and we're focusing on the next task at hand. Yeah, San Joaquin Memorial is a great team, so we know we have a tough task ahead of us.
And entirely, Sam, we've seen different versions of your team over the course of this year. We've seen the wins, the defensive wins like we saw. We've seen offensive explosions from you guys. For those who aren't familiar with Whitney basketball, how would you describe your team and your brand of basketball?
Perseverance, like Coach was saying earlier, if we lose one day, the next day of practice, we're working 10 times harder to win next time, or to win the next game that we have, because we know that everybody's coming for us, especially after this section championship. We need to step it up, especially our practice on Monday.
I think it's just our mindset mostly. We always just know that even if we have a tough loss, even if we lose by 30, even if we lose by 2, we always come back and be like, we're going to win the next day. We have that mindset to come back and just put people on the ground.
Now, do you feel now that you've won this banner, just for the duration of this season and next season, you guys will officially have a target on your backs now?
Yeah, I think we've always had a target on our back. Honestly, we beat a lot of teams that we weren't supposed to beat, and I think just having this now, we're very clear.
We definitely surprised some people this year.
Prove everyone wrong.
Well, Coach, you hear a lot of coaches talk about wanting to get to a point where you can kind of take a step back and allow the ladies, allow the players to kind of govern each other and hold themselves accountable and do their thing on the floor, and you can just enjoy as a spectator with the rest of us. Did that team get to that point at all this season, or what was that feeling like seeing this team grow into a champion?
Oh, we absolutely got there. This playoffs is interesting. As our coaches are coming off at halftime, thinking about adjustments. We walk into the locker room and they're already telling each other exactly what we're going to tell them.
Awesome.
We have some great leaders on this team. Sammy and Harper are both captains for this team. They've done a phenomenal job. Just high basketball IQs. They're just intrinsically motivated, and they just bring everybody up a level. And so it's been a lot we are, what our identity was, and we've really figured that out this last, I say the last month of the season. We play hard, we play defense, we rebound, and when our shots hit, watch out.
I'm telling you, I definitely would not want to try to box out Miss Kitchen in the paint. Anyone else here? I'm telling you. Now, with that being said, you kind of talked about the senior leadership, or excuse me, not the senior league, but the leadership that you've had from your girls up here. Do you guys have like a pregame ritual or anything that you guys do before games?
Yeah,
We do.
Oh, please share.
We have a big dance party in the locker room before every home game and as many away games as we can. We have a huge speaker that one of our other girls, Kendall Dykstra, brings to every game and every practice, and we jam out in the locker room.
Yeah, before we get to the locker room, we always play one song and we run out to it into the locker room just to get
We
hyped.
just scream
Yeah,
and run into the locker room.
Coach, you part of this?
Sometimes after party.
Oh, yeah, party. I was about to say, when you dance well, you play well. I think a wise prophet once said that. Now, you said it's one song you always play. Which song is it?
I forgot.
It's Dr. Dre.
Oh, Dr. Dre. Wow, y'all getting some gangster rap with it. Some song by Nothing But a G-Thing?
No, it's
See the edited version of that, y'all. The edited version.
We're on TV.
Yeah, right? Wow. Well, Matt, I'll tell you this. If I were a team in the opposing locker room and I heard Dr. Dre coming out of the speakers,
Or Love by Keisha
right?
Cole.
What was that?
Love by Keisha Cole.
Oh yeah.
Love? Isn't that a slow song?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it's so good.
We do it right before we go out. We sing to it, we dance, we jam out. It's great. It's so fun.
I was about to say, that is quite a segue from Dr. Dre to Keisha Cole. All right. Well, with that being said, before we get out of here, this is just something that you, Coach, said I wanted to ask you. This is your 10th year with this program, and you've done phenomenal things with this program just throughout your time being there. Just seeing the smile on their faces and what you bring to them. Words probably can't describe the impact you'll have on their lives. What is it about this particular 2023 basketball team that may be special or unique or distinguished from the other 9 years you've coached?
Well, they got the banner we've been chasing, right? 10 years and longer since this program has been established. But they're just a silly group. They're silly, it's just a combination of silliness and competitiveness and talent and drive and just love for each other. It's unreal, and I just think the relationships that we as coaches have an amazing coaching staff. So shout out to them. We have just the relationship we have with our players. It just reaches far beyond sports, and I think that is one thing I will take with me always, and I'm just so grateful for this experience.
And I wanted to ask too, opening it up to anybody who wants to speak about it, especially in this region, but all over the place. Women's and girls basketball just seems to be on a meteoric rise. Just the quality of play, the quality of players. And you talk about this region, you look at the teams in this region, being in the Golden One Center, watching game after game after game of girls basketball, and the amount of talent just in Northern California alone. Can someone speak to being a part of hopefully the continued rise of this sport and what you've experienced with this game over the last few years?
Well, one of our coaches said it best, there's someone in the crowd, like a little girl who wants to be you someday, and I think that's honestly really important to me, and I'm sure it's important to you guys. The next generation is watching us, we are their role models, and I think it's so cool to be a part of that.
We also had the same coach talk about our little girls were in the stands, they don't know the difference between WNBA players and you out there, so they just think that we're the best. And so that really stuck to me, and I was super happy about that.
We run little kids camps for the younger ages and we throw them from all of our games and put our numbers on their back. It's always something to look up to.
Love that. Now, Harper, I gotta ask, have you taken the net off you want it, or is it just stays on?
I've been taking it off, but I've slept it on my pillow past 2 nights.
I love it. Well, celebrate it all you want. Well, guys, it's been a lot of fun. And before we get out of here, Coach, you already talked about, how great it is coaching these players and how wonderful they are. And now I'm going to flip it to the players here. I want you guys, I'm going to go around. I want you guys to say one word to describe Coach Sid. Okay? One word. We're going to start with you, Miss Kitchen.
She's gonna say sprints.
Be careful. You don't want to run at practice tomorrow. So.
Heartful, yeah, heartful.
Really hard. Honestly, just like amazing, like that word, like amazing.
I would just say role model. That's 2 words actually.
That's true, but you know what? It's so that's perfect. That is. Who's checking? Who's checking?
Sammy's a grammar police.
Good deal, good deal. Well, glad you said that. These girls are not only amazing athletes, they're also outstanding scholars as well and doing wonderful things in the classroom. So congratulations to you guys, and congratulations to the Hartville role model, amazing coach, Sid. I think I got all your adjectives right. Coach Sid, and the work that you're doing as well. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
That's, you know, we're going to rock out to some Dr. Dre right after the show. So, thank you guys so much for watching. This is what we have coming up next right here on Toyota Sports Extra.
Never warn people about the upper class.
That is true.